I've got to cut that off. It's swelling right there. There's something wrong with the wire up in there. Up to here. Problem, it'd be great if I'd use two hands. Sawzall's seen some heavy use through the years. Alright, this is better. It's flexible now. I want to cut that through all the way around. Oh yeah, much better. I'm still going to scratch its surface a little. There's some sort of oxidization or coating or something on there, who knows what. We want a good connection. There's going to be some high current going through this. Of course, I'm defeating the, there's a dragonfly on my leg. The fact that the terminals fit perfectly on there now. Hopefully it'll still go. Ow! It bit me. Let me see, I'll get a terminal, see if it fits. Okay, here's my improvised redneck way of putting on terminals. Get that nice and firmly on there. Now the idea, hold that snug against here so the wire can't slide out as I'm hammering it down. You hear the tone change? Then it's as hard as it's going to get. And I can cut the wire here all the way around. Slice it open, peel that off, peel off the wrapper, make sure I'm still recording because I can't see my camera. And feed that little guy in there. Just a little bit flanged on the end because of the Sawzall, just a little. Of course, the last one's giving me the most trouble. Figures. And I think, nope, not yet. Trying to get it in there. There we go. Only one wire didn't make it in. How cool is that? Only one strand. Now, jam that in there. You can hear that tone change. And that's on there good. There's my wires for my inverter. I'm going to go and wire that up. I'll be able to run my wood shop again finally. It's been a long time. Now all there is to hooking up the power inverter is simply disentangling it from my camera. Alright, you get this on here and then tighten it. The red positive goes on the red positive marked lead terminal on the inverter. The important is to tighten these very well. You want it very good and firmly secured down so that it does not slip and there's no arcing. Arcing will lead to heating and heating will lead to fire. And it is not desirable. Okay, now I can put on the protective screw cap. I think actually, does that go on and hold that on? This goes here. And then this goes on to hold this in place. And protect all that. Alright? And then the same with the negative. Bring it on over here. These are heavy duty wires, so they're fighting me. Put that on. Put a washer. Put the lock washer. Put the nut on. Tighten it securely, same as the other. If it's not tight, it will arc. It will work itself more and more loose somehow. I don't know how, but they do. They always find a way to work themselves loose. That's why the lock washer's on there. That helps a lot. Tighten that very firm. Put the protective cover on if yours has one. This is a very high power 3500 watt inverter. It has as much as I think 190 amps, 200 amps or more. DC will come through these wires at peak usage. So it's a very, very high power inverter. A lot of current going to run through that. Now I'm going to whip this around because I need to access the power on the front. So I got to flip this around, so I'll be back in a minute. Now here on the battery bank, I've got the power terminal up. My main power terminal and my charging outlet is right here, positive. And the opposite over here, the negative. So I've got the negative going in one side and the positive going in the other. Now I'm going to do the total opposite for the power inverter for the power draw out. So this will be the positive going to the inverter, and that'll be the negative to the inverter. So I've got to find the right socket wrench, or the right wrench. I don't know if it's the same. Yes, it's the same. I prefer to have covered. If you short these two together, you've got 1,000 amps probably instantaneously is going to run through that. We don't want that. Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and loosen this one. I might as well let it record. Let me see. I want to hold that down when I do it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do this one on video, the positive, because I'm going to reach in. I'll be in your way when I do the negative. I don't want to lose connection here because everything's connected and hooked up. I got solar panels charging, I've got all kinds of stuff going on, and I don't want to lose my connection. Actually, I don't think I will, but anyway, I'm going to hold this down and put pressure on it as I connect my terminal. It's awkward to do this on camera and show it. Positive. Put the nut down. Tighten it. I did not lose power on my charge controller. That's what I wanted. I did not want to lose any power up there. Tighten that down pretty firm. I'm going to put the negative over there. There's probably going to be a large snap. Not that bad. Okay, now the capacitor charged. There was a snap as the capacitor charged. Alright, now I'm going to put this wire, the negative, over on the negative lead, and we'll be back in a minute. Alright, now I've got my plus to the plus here on one side of the battery bank. On the opposite side of the battery bank, I got the main negative onto the minus terminal, which you can't see. And in power going from the charge controller is across here, negative there, plus here. That way, power is going in at one angle and coming out at one on opposite poles, opposite terminals. Now over here, I should have power on the inverter. Green light, 0 watts coming out. Okay, we can go over 13.67 volts on the battery bank. Looking good. Okay, we have power. Now the next test is to run an extension cord from the wood shop over to here and see if we can run some power. Alright guys, this is about my most power hungry tool I've got. I got the switch on here. Let's see, there it is. There's 2 switches on here. The guy had made it so he could run it 2 ways. Alright, let's see if it fires. If it fires up, then I'm going to have plenty of power in this place. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to work on something. Yeah! That is the biggest surge of any device I've got in here. I wasn't sure, honestly, I wasn't sure if this was going to power up or not because of the surge on this thing is so high. If it can turn this on, I can run anything in my shop. I'm happy. We are good to go. Off-grid wood shop is back in business. By the way, the extension cord I'm using is the Tacklife rotary extension cord that I am just finishing up a video for, and I'm going to mount it in my electronics slab permanently. So now that I'm just about done with the review, I'm going to mount this in here, and we're going to have power in the wood shop whenever I want, or anywhere, directly off the power inverter right down here. Still 13.67 volts, looking good. Sorry I can't get the camera down there, my tripod's in the way. And we have off-grid power in the electronics lab and in the wood shop, up to 3,500 watts, 7,000 watt surge. There we go, guys. What I have here, I don't know if I can see my camera very well, is a pine burl. Sorry, I'm looking at my camera upside down. It's a pine burl that I've cut in half to expose this mushroom. I can't do this upside down. This mushroom looking thing. I can't tell exactly what you're seeing. I might have to turn the camera around. Now, I was looking at it upside down. There's some beautiful colors in here. And I've just rough sanded it with the belt sander. It looks like a mushroom. And this is one that I cut in half. But each piece is unique from the other. So I'm going to sand these really fine and then varnish them and see what they look like. I'm just playing around for fun here. I see it was just a slight off center from the branch itself, but you can see it gives a unique character. And what I did, there was like a butt shape right there, and I cut right down the butt, which if I'd have cut precisely dead center would have been perfectly right down the line, but I used the bandsaw to cut it. It was a little bit awkward hand feeding it through, so I'll take what I got. So I'm going to fine sand these, and then we'll put a layer of varnish on it if I had any varnish left. And that's essentially what a burl is. It's just a knot in the pine, growth or a cancer. I'm not sure what causes it. I'm going to look that up on the internet later. But most people consider these a flaw in the wood, and others consider them a piece of beauty. And so I'm going to cut these open and see what's inside them. I come inside and look what Melanie did. I got no... There we go. Focusing. And then what is that, Melanie?
Salmon.
Salmon patties?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Look what Melanie did. All on her own. Oh, my mouth is watering. Time to eat. Hi, guys. Picking blueberries. They are thick this year. I don't know if it was the harsh spring or the very wet spring, but the berries are so much bigger and thicker this year than last. I mean, these berries on these bushes now are almost as big as the cultured berries that you buy at the store, the commercial berries. They're huge this year. I say almost. I mean, they're still wild blueberries and they're still smaller, but they're so much larger this year than last year. The picking goes faster. Yesterday morning we went out and we got 3 pounds of berries in about an hour to an hour and a half. That's, I know, not very good, but we started out bad. We went to a spot that wasn't as heavily profitable, whatever. But we started out in a bad spot and we ended up moving over to a better spot. And like where we are now is really, really good. I'm picking my way over to here, and I'm going to move my way back over into the patch behind me. And this is our land right behind the house, right by the house. You can probably hear the rooster crying. Michelle can sit and watch us as we work. She's just relaxed, so that's not a problem. Most of the time I actually just sit right on down. When I get a spot that's really thick and I'm going to be sitting a minute, I can sit right down on my butt and relax. Here's a couple good ones. I know there's bigger ones than that. I want to show them on camera here. Well, there's a couple. Well, there's a fat one. I mean, there's still wild blueberries, but there's some decent ones. Anyway, I'm going to keep picking. Well, there we go, guys. Melanie stayed out picking while I was working on the chain on the sawmill. I've got the chain half freed up. Some of these are really nice sized berries. Okay, they're not huge, but they're nice sized. You can compare where she ended up. Now that's equal to a small commercial berry. So where she ended up on the other side of our front land, she got some of the bigger ones as compared to the ones where we started out. So there's a big difference. I don't know what the weather this year is different, and the berries are better than ever. But she figures we got about 4 pounds, maybe 4 to 5 pounds. Last time we had 3 pounds, and it was probably a little bit less than this twice. So I'm saying 5. I'm going to guess 5. Not bad for about an hour and a half of picking. I think I picked for a little over an hour and she worked for a little bit longer.